Hey, shalom, shalom. Damn, I got to hype this up a little bit. No wonder why it looked like that. Get that red one. Hey, Slocky. Is it right there? Yeah, that shit's. As long as that shit, I'm not like looking down at it. Hey, shalom, y'all. Bashim Ashur Thumb. Two brothers out there. Shalom, how was Shema Thumb? Bashim Ashur to the sisters out there. The ISUPK coming on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You know what I'm saying? My Commander Juliana. Today's is a law class. You know what I'm saying we're out in Phoenix, Arizona. We got classes Tuesday. You see at the bottom, yeah. So it's there already. Tuesday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And Saturday we got classes from 10 a.m. to noon. I'm saying we're down at 12416 North 28 Drive. Yeah, 12416 North 28 Drive. I'm saying in room number 4. You can't miss us. I'm saying you're gonna see the sign, the billboard sign that says ISUPK. I'm saying come to room number 4. You can't miss us. All right. Today we're gonna go into the breath of life. All right. Why we should always choose life and what you should do. How do you choose life? And how do you show you choose life? I'm saying, how would a man show he choose life today? I'll give you an example. A man that stay away from trouble. I'm saying if you see someone that's one of your friends, you say you're a kid's coming up in school, you see one of your friends about to do something wrong, and you say, you know what, I ain't gonna do that. Like, you choose life. I'm saying, especially in today's time where Black and Hispanic men are dying like flies, right? So every little thing we do, we're gonna get judged for it. You know what I'm saying, we could possibly get judged for it. That judgment could be death. I'm saying, even if we do nothing, like Trayvon Martin just walking home, right? Tamir Rice. I'm saying Tamir Rice was a young boy that was just playing with the BB gun, right? Khan. I'm saying, what's the other one's name? He was accused of whistling at a white girl. Emmett Till. I'm saying countless amount of brothers, man. Or you can end up, and those brothers did nothing wrong, right? Or you can end up being a brother that did something wrong, and then that wrong that you did caused you to be put to death, right? Not that saying that they deserve to die. I'm saying, at least in our eyes, but in the eyes of the Most High, I'm saying it was our brother or sister's last day. Brothers like Mike Brown. I never forget when Mike Brown happened, right? Give me some other ones. George Floyd, right? George Floyd. Brothers like George Floyd, right? According to the laws of America, I'm saying they broke on paper. I'm saying the white man could put that they broke a law. And because they broke that law on paper, right? The white man find it to be justified to put them brothers to death. Right? So choosing life, choosing the breath of life, meaning you doing the right thing. Breath of life, meaning you keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Slovakia. Let me share this. Slovakia. Breath of life, meaning you choose to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You choose to do what's right. And when you don't do what's right, you get judgment for it, right? Okay. Is there a sword up here? Oh, you better. Yeah, if I can get one on Slovakia. I should have grabbed one too, man. And we're gonna get a couple of precepts, right? That justifiable the breath of life, right? And how you should always choose life. Because here's stories of many men that when the time of calamity come, vast majority of them do the same thing. I'm saying they fall to their knees or they start begging the Most High then. right? When for many of them, it's already too late when that time comes, right? So how do you choose the breath of life? Is you keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So we're gonna get that. Let me put this down. All right, so we're gonna start off in Genesis, right? Every from the time of Adam and Eve, like the breath of life has been keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Because Adam and Eve was given the laws. They were given life in all retrospect. Adam and Eve, we all know in the UPK we teach that. I'm saying a little background. We teach that Adam and Eve were not the first men and women on the face of the earth, which is justifiable by the Bible, right? Adam and Eve were not the first men and women on the earth. There's already people on the earth already. The Most High just raised them from the dust, gave them the law, statutes, and commandments, and separate them from the rest of society at that time, right? By giving them the breath of life. Okay, so we're going to go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. In fact, let's start at verse 2. Genesis chapter 2, Genesis chapter 2, verse 1, right? Thus, I got it. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, right then and there, right? In Genesis 2 and 1, right there, that answers the question right there, right? That Adam and Eve came from Adam and Eve were the first men and women on the first face of the earth, right? Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. Verse 2. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested. And on the seventh day, from all his work which he had made. I'm saying that seventh being the Sabbath day, right? Verse 3. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rest from all his work which God created and made. Verse 4. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created. In the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, right? Meaning that the earth is obviously separated from the heavens, right? And every plant of the field before it was in the earth. And every herb of the field before it grew, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man till the ground. Verse 6. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. Verse 7, right? And the Lord God formed man of the dust. There we go right there, right? He formed man of the what? From the dust of the ground, and the breath into his nostril, the breath of life, and the man became a living soul. Then right there, that answers your question right there, right? The breath of life. Breath of life being keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Right there, the Most High showed you that. In verse 7, it says, I'm reading it again. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground. So in the UPK, like I said before, we teach that Adam and Eve were not the first man and woman on the face of the earth. In fact, Adam was just a first man, or Slock. Adam was a man, and he was a man that the Most High took from the dust. Dust mean like a low state, right? We teach in the UPK that dust mean you come from a low state. Like look at black people today. We're the dust of the earth. We live in the bottom. We're bottom feeders, right? If he was to do a hierarchy in the earth, obviously he goes to white man first, right? Because Most High said, oh, this earth is giving it over into the wicked, right? The white man is the wicked. I'm saying, or the oppressor is the wicked, rather. So you start all the way up to him, and you count all the way down. You know what I'm saying? Black people, Hispanic people, Native American people, we're at the bottom. I'm saying the children of Israel are at the bottom. And what the Most High did was Adam, at one time, he was at the bottom. I'm saying they were doing things like eating whatever they would like. I'm sure they were having sex with anything that walks. You can imagine, right? You might say to yourself, what's the difference today? People have sex with everything they want. I agree with you. In Canada, they passed a law saying that a man or a woman can have sex with an animal, bestiality, right? You know that's disgusting, right? The same things that they were doing before the Most High blessed Adam from that dust is the same thing that we're doing today. That's what that's why what we're doing today make the Most High so angry, right? It's right here before I break it, Salakia. That's what make the Most High so angry, right? Most High is angry because here he go, he's telling you the answers to the test. You want to live? This is what you do if you want to live. But we refuse. Can you imagine that, right? You're taking a test and someone giving you the answers to your test. We all been there before. We all been in class before. I'm saying whether it be that pretty girl next to you, I'm saying, or that smart kid next to you or whatever, and you know they know all the answers to the test. You want to sit next to them, and so you might look over at her and help me and whatnot. And she can imagine that she goes to help you, and say you copying off her test right now, and she write down, you doing what you want to do, and then you end up like, what you doing? You end up failing the test. What's the point of you? You want to, you know what I'm saying? What's the point of you? I thought you took the test to pass it. And you know that she's smart, right? The Most High is like, listen, I got the answers to the test. I'm trying to give you all the answers to the test, and you refuse to take the answers I'm giving you. So thus, you have to fail a test. You have to die. And that's what we're doing today. We're dying, right? Because we refuse, I'm saying, to accept the breath of life. The breath of life meaning, I'll give you another example. A man cannot sleep with another man's woman, right? And at one time, you could be put to death for this. Wrong or right, Parag? Colin, you know what I'm saying? At one time, you be put to death for this. Right now, we're in a time of right now we're in a time of what's the word a Christian like to use? Lakia. Right now, we're in a time of what's that word that Christians like to use about so they don't got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We're in a time of grace, right? Right now, we're in a time of grace. I'm saying so we have a grace period to make sure we get right. So if you're a brother that's sleeping with somebody else's, another man's woman, right? Or if you're a woman stepping out on your husband, right? You have to be careful. I'm saying that's a very dangerous thing you're playing with, right? So we all know the story of that brother that was, his name is what again? Trouble. His name was Trouble. My God. His name is Trouble. I never caught that one. His name is Trouble. I mean, what more? Be careful what you name your kids, right? Or you name yourself, right? I should say, right? His name was Trouble. Now, Trouble got himself in some trouble. You know what I'm saying Trouble was sleeping with another man's woman, right? And him wanting to sleep with another man's woman cost him his life. And that man came home, he seen him, killed him for arm hearing, and then flee the scene. Now, I'll say this. A little side note on that story. Like, me knowing what I know, there's two things you could take from that, right? So, there's stories that are saying that he broke into the house. But there's also stories that are saying that he's been with that woman for 3 years, and he's been living there, and he had a key, and he, in fact, opened the door when he came in. Now, I'll say this. The story of him breaking, you can't break into your own house. So you can throw that out right then and there. You can throw that out right then and there, right? You can't break into your own house. If there's anything I could see him being charged for, one is domestic violence, him beating the shit out of that woman, or Slakia, him beating the hell out of that woman, right? Him beating this woman, that domestic violence charging, he gonna get hit for, and fleeing the scene of a crime, a preceded crime, he gonna get the charge for it. But as far as murder, by United States law, I can't see that man going out for that murder. I'm gonna tell you why. If he had a key and he came in his own house with that key, that man inside of that house is the intruder. I'm gonna repeat it again. If he has a key, according to, if you're going by like just the white man's rule, right, white man's law, right, and he come in that house with that key and seen that man and did not proceed to the knowledge that, okay, my woman know him or know this man, he can't get charged for that, because the man was on his property, especially if he's been living there for 3 years. That's why he's so dangerous, man, because it's Trouble. They said he had a girl of his own, right? He had a woman himself. Yeah, he had a wife. I'm saying he had kids, and look, sure, yeah, mother, father, look, They mourning him right now. I'm saying it's a sad, sad, sad thing, man. Sad thing to go out like that. Because one day you seen them and the next day they're gone. I'm telling you, ain't no pain like that, man. Ain't no pain like that. You like, damn, I just seen him. I was just kicking it with him. And now he's gone. That's why choosing the breath of life is essential to your life if you want to live. Now, if you don't want to live and you don't care about life, then keep living how these brothers are living, man. Keep living dangerously like how Trouble was living. That's a very dangerous thing to do. You go to a woman's house. Let's just go off of just like, right? Let's just go off of being out in the world and the rules to the game, right? Now, I don't know if you know this woman. My perception is I'm gonna give that brother the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what? He might have known that sister for a long time or some shit. And he felt like he could trust her. That's the reason why he laid his head at her house. Two things I would take from that, though. If you know her for a while, means one, he knew she had a husband. Right. If you know her for a while, he knew she had a husband, right? Two, he knew that husband was not going to be there. So that's why he went there. Now, on the other hand, let's say he didn't know, right? He didn't know she had a husband. He just met her. Now, if you're supposed to be a rapper and a somewhat star, how do you go and lay your head in someone you don't know's place? That makes sense, huh? That'll make the ounce of sense to me. I'm saying from the outside looking in and hearing people talk about it, and for what I'm hearing, going off of knowledge alone, I would say he knew that man was not going to be there, one, which means he knew her, and the evidence show he know her because he laid his head. He was comfortable. He laid his head in the other man's bed. And for him not choosing the breath of life, look, his life was taken. His life was taken for the decision that he made to sleep with another man's woman, right? Especially, ain't nothing worse than a man. Ain't nothing worse than a whore, man. Ain't nothing worse than a whore. I'm telling you, man. They will get you killed. I'm saying a whore will get you killed, man. You have to be very, very, very careful. In our brother's case, it's a sad, sad thing. I know the brother has family, he has kids, and his kids will have to go without seeing him for the rest of their life, right? Which would definitely affect them because they can no longer see him. They can no longer have a father to teach them the necessities you need in life, right? Give them the things they need in life. Which make it so sad, man. That's not something that I wish on anybody, man. I wish our brother would have got right. I wish our brother would have got right so he wouldn't have to go through that, right? We're gonna jump to Deuteronomy 22 and 22. I'm saying, if you have that, I'll read off your phone. If you have it out.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 22. If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband.
It said if Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 22, if a man should be found laying with a woman, right, who has a husband, go ahead.
Then they shall both of them die.
Then shall both of them die. And look, not that I'm saying any brother should go out there and kill. I'm saying take judgment in your own hands. I'm saying we're not living in that time right now. I'm saying so even back then, during that time of Israel, you would not be able to just see him and then kill him. You got to take it to a council, right? And you take it to the judge. And if the judge find him guilty, which in that brother's case, he'll be guilty, you'll be put to death. But here's the kicker too. That sister will be put to death. Right. I'm saying that sister will be put to death. And you know what blows me though? For a lot of these men, not that I'm saying this should have happened, but I never understood why he beat the hell out of the woman, ended up killing the man she was sleeping with. for one, I mean, give it enough time, everything come out in enough time, right? So we'll find out if he knew that brother before the case being, right? Now, you would think, well, damn, why didn't he lay judgment on the bitch? Right? That's his woman of 3 years that he's been with, and she kicked him out of the house, got mad at him and kicked him out of the house because of what? Because he couldn't pay the bill. That was the story, right? She kicked him out of the house because he could not pay. He didn't have money to pay the bill, the rent. So she kicked him out of the house. Next day, she's sleeping with, what's his name? Trouble. She's sleeping with Trouble. So what? I'm assuming what, she paying for sex now? All right, he was paying for sex or something. I don't know what. But nonetheless, the brother did not choose the breath of life. Go ahead, up. Was that it on it? Go ahead.
Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shalt thou put away evil from Israel.
Saying both of them have to die. That way we're able to put away evil from the nation of Israel, right? Because that's absolutely evil, man. It's absolutely evil. You cannot give me Ezekiel 37. Khan.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 1. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones.
Midst of the valley, it was full of bones. Everyone know the famous, right? This famous scripture, right? Valley of dry bones, right? Keep going.
And caused me to pass them, so I could pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley.
There were very many in the open valley. Go ahead.
And lo, they were very dry. And
so there was many in that valley, and they were dry, right? Don't forget, the Bible is not written by white people, right? The Bible is written by niggas, and niggas speak. Many times when niggas speak, it's not to be taken literally, right? So there's not a bunch of bones out there like skeletons walking around, the dead, right? What show is that called? Where there are a bunch of dead people. The Walking Dead, right? The Walking Dead. It wasn't a story of the Walking Dead. It's not like that. That's the reason why it's so hard for the white man to understand the Bible, because the Bible is written with some flavor, right? It was written with some seasoning. You know, white people have no seasoning. They don't use seasoning in their food, all right? So much less we know they can't understand this. So this valley of dry bones is strictly talking about men and women of that city or that place that was like without the breath of life. And we're going to find out right now. Go ahead.
And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest.
Only you know, right? Most only you know. Go ahead.
Again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord.
So he was commanded to prophesy onto these dry bones. What the ISUPK, right? ISUPK has been doing since '69, right? They've been prophesying onto the dry bones of Israel. They've been going out in the streets and telling blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians that, listen, like the time is coming to an end. 69 to now is how long? 69. We'll go from 30, right? From 70, that's 30 years. Plus we got 22 right now. So 30 and 22 is 52 plus an additional year. That's 53. That's 53 years. Meaning from 67 to now, 2022 is 53 years. That's not long at all. That's not long at all. Like, I know we like to rush things, and I'm saying, like, look, like, this ain't coming to an end, man. Y'all been saying that forever. That's only been 53 years. That's very short. 53-year-old right now. I seen some 53-year-olds look better than 20-year-olds. I mean it. Like, you can't even tell. They're looking at you like, damn, that brother, you 53? Or that sister, you 53? Like, you wouldn't believe, you know what I'm saying? So I want to say that to say it's been only a short time, right? It's only been a short time that we've been saying this, but that's what being told right here by this brother to go do. He was being commanded to go out there and speak to the people, to prophesy to those dry bones, to wake the dead, right? Keep going.
Thus saith the Lord God unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you.
Behold, I will cause what?
Breath to enter into you.
There goes that breath of life again, right? Go ahead.
And ye shall live.
And he shall what?
Shall live.
He shall live, right? Most I say he will cause breath to enter inside you. There's nothing like hearing the truth for the first time. There's absolutely nothing like hearing the truth for the first time. Remember when I first heard that the Most High hate, I was like, what? God hate? They hit me with one of my favorite up to today, Romans 9:13, right to the point, right? And if you want to start get bloodline with it, you know what I'm saying, you start Romans 9:1, all right? When I first heard those, I was like, what? Something is going on here. When I never forget when I heard that you couldn't eat shrimp. I was like, shrimp? Because coming up, you're taught that shrimp is a what? It's a very up class, prestige like type of food, right? Like you taught that things like lobster. Like I never forget, one of my family members' favorite restaurant was Red Lobster. So and so, he thought that was upper class living up, truly upper class living, right? When I found out that lobsters and crab and all and shrimp is unlawful, I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. I found the Israel, like black people, you know what I'm saying, that we're from the nation of Israel. I'm like, first I was like, Israel, what's that? Because I didn't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's why it was so easy for me to be taught this. And you know what I'm saying, I was like a sponge because I come from a background of not knowing nothing really about the Bible for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's when I started learning. I'm like, yo, this is it. Like I ain't going nowhere. Like this is it. So that's what this brother was being told to do, prophesy in the valley of dry bones, right? Now, breath of life. Read that last verse again for me. That was verse 5, right? Come on, read it again for me.
Thus saith the Lord God unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live.
I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live, right? Meaning, once again, the breath of life is the law, statutes, and commandments. It's always been that way, right? The breath of life have always been the law, statutes, and commandments, and it'll never change. Give me Baruch, God. You know what I want. 4 and 1. I'm saying that's how it's always been. The breath of life has always been the law, statutes, and commandments. Like I said before, brothers dying left and right, children's dying. Like at one time, you could say, I know my children's all right, they in school. You know what I mean? Like, if anybody when you come up in the ghetto, there's two places that like if you came up with just your mama alone and your mama had to work, you know that there was two places your mama was comfortable you being where she had to worry about you. That one, that was school, and two, if you was in prison or you was in jail or something, or juvenile, you know what I mean? If you was in that coming up, she knew that, okay, he all right, he in there. At least she can reach you. She can pick up the phone and call you. You know what I'm saying? Many times, your mother be, how you be moving and shit out in the street, like coming up as a kid, your mother be happy that you're in there, that she know that ain't nothing gonna happen to you. I only say that to say, now today, school now today has become dangerous, huh? All right, dangerous. School shootings left and right. I'm saying the shootings in general. Going to the grocery store and cost you your life. I feel bad for those brothers and sisters that died, man, and up in what's it, upstate New York? Is it Buffalo? Buffalo, right? I feel bad for them. Who I feel even bad for is a family member that's left behind. I'm saying, because I will always choose life, right? Because they're already gone. But I feel bad for the ones that's left. I mean, my goodness, man. Imagine brothers that had their wife. Imagine your wife just left you. She just left you, said she's gonna run to the grocery store. Imagine that, right? She just left you, said she's gonna run to the grocery store. She'll be right back. You say, all right, I'm gonna kick it with you. And then you get the call, or you like, damn, why she ain't show up yet? It's all over the news that there was a shooting in the grocery store. You run down there, you find out your wife ain't there. Imagine, I'm saying, like, it's important that we choose a breath of life, man. I'm telling you, you can die at any time now today. The things that was once safe and sacred is no longer so. School used to be a one-time safe and sacred. It's no longer the case. You can die at school. Teachers too, you can die at school. And that's the time that we're living in today. You know what I'm saying? And most I prophesied this, right? Terror shall make them afraid. I had a white man, the slave, told me that he said, and I quote, he said, man, this is crazy. I don't know what to do. Because he came to me and he was talking to me about all I heard about the shootings and all that. I'm like, oh, the other one with you? He's like, yeah. And he said to me, he said, I don't even know what to do anymore. Literally, like, I'm getting up. I'm about to get on my bike to go to the grocery store and buy like something he was gonna buy. And he said, I had to think twice. Like I had to carry my gun like with me just to go to the grocery store. I started laughing myself. I'm like, it's not funny because it's really not. So whether white people, Asian people, it's really not funny. Death ain't no coming back from that, right? But it's funny because seeing a man who's supposed to be so mighty, right? This white man is a mighty man in America, right? This is his country, and to see him in fear like he is, almost bring me a chuckle. But I couldn't fully chuckle because our people are getting caught in the midst of it too. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, read that for me out.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
Read that from the top again for me out.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
This is the book of the commandments of God, right? Go ahead.
And the law that endureth forever.
And the law that would never end in law, right? Meaning this law, these law, statutes, and commandments will be forever. It will never end, right? Keep going.
All they that keep it shall come to life.
All day that what?
Keep it shall come to life.
All day that keep it shall come to life. All day that keepeth shall come to life. Meaning what? These laws, statutes, and commandments is the breath of life. I'm saying it's very simple. The breath of life is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Because if you want to live, you have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. I'm saying, keep going from here.
But such as leave it shall die.
Such as what?
Leave it shall die.
A man that sleep with another man's woman shall die. A man who's a murderer shall die. Right? A man who's a thief, throw out many other adulterer, right? A fornicator, a man that molester, I'm saying, all these things, all these wicked things, he shall die. Man who bear false witness, I'm saying, against a man, he shall die. I'm saying, because the laws speak against these things. The law, statutes, and commandments speak against these things. So you do them, and you're gonna die. And what did the Most High also say? That these laws will be forever. I mean, it'll never change. There's never gonna be a time where these laws shall no longer be abide. All right, the Christian church try to tell you that the Old Testament is done away with. Right? They tell you that the Old Testament is done away with, but they take an Old Testament law like paying tithes and bring it to the New Testament.
Right.
Meaning, the Old Testament is done away with, right? By your own definition, things like paying tithes, the people in the church should not be paying tithes because the Old Testament is done away with. Right? Meaning, I don't know how the church will pay for itself then. Right? The government have to give them money then, right? Because they ain't tied to the government anyway. Right? We all know that America's standard built itself on to be separated government and church. Correct, Hot? Should I give me around that out? right?
Yeah,
It's
separation between church and state.
church and state. That's what it is. The separation between church and state, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because the separation between church and state, like you would think that church should be the state, right? If the church said don't do one thing and the state say do something else, like you're allowed to do something else, and which one do you listen to? If there's a separation between church and state, that's what show you the Christian church is fake, man. There's no life in the Christian church. The breath of life is not in the Christian church because they dying every day. I bet you, you know what I'm saying? Once again, it's a sad thing, but I bet you those men and women that died in those um the grocery store, right? Up in Buffalo, I bet you they were Christians. Same Christians, you know what I'm saying? Which the pastor one day, all these pastors, all these leaders, they'll pay for that one day. They're gonna have to pay for it. Somebody gonna have to answer for all this. That's why in ISUPK, like ISUPK hold to such a high standard that it force you while you're in here, you gotta be right while you're in here. It's the only way. You gotta have the breath of life when you're in here. It's the only way. Unless you can't be in here now, the breath of life. I'm saying, and that's what makes the ISUPK so particular, right? Make the ISUPK so great. I'm saying, in this wicked world. You don't see it now, but I promise you, give enough time, you'll see it. Right? I'm saying, and that'll be it on that. Lock here. Oh yeah, that'll be it on that. I'm saying what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump to lock here. Just had it here. We're gonna jump to Proverbs 3 and 7. So then we're gonna jump to Proverbs 3 and 7.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 7.
Before the brother read this, I'll say this. A lot of people don't know that one of the biggest things that keep people from accepting the breath of life is fear. Right? Fear is one of the biggest thing that keeps people from accepting the breath of life. Whether it be fear of failure, or some people just afraid of righteousness, succeeding, right? Some people are afraid to be accountable, right? To be like to having upheld and have certain accountability. A lot of people are afraid of that. Tons of people are afraid of that. I give you a perfect example. The Christian church again. Go tell a Christian that he's actually the Israelite and he's from the line of Judah or Benjamin, you know what I'm saying, Levi, Issachar, Asher, you know what I'm saying, Tim or whatever, right? Manasseh, whatever, right? And he'll fight you on it. He'll fight tooth and nail on it. For two reasons. One, because he loves the oppressor, he loves the so-called white man, right? And two, a lot of people don't know is because now, if you tell me he's an Israelite, he's forced to keep certain laws, statutes, commandments that he do not want to keep. Right? Where you read that for me again? I read that for me from top.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 7. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel.
Shall be what?
Health to thy navel.
Read that from the top again for me.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 7. Be not wise in thine own eyes.
Be not wise in your own eyes, right? Go ahead.
Fear the Lord.
Fear the what?
The Lord.
Fear the what?
The Lord.
The only way you fear the Most High is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, go ahead.
And depart from evil.
And depart from evil. That's it. For a lot of people, they don't want to depart from that evil, man. Now, one of my favorite thing to bring up when I teach about this specific topic is that song. Was the brother that Jada Pinkett was messing around with? August Asina is his name. He had a song called "I Love It," right? And I think the lyrics went, "I'm gonna keep on doing because I love this." You know what I'm saying, I'm gonna keep smoking because I love this. I'm gonna keep this because I love that. I'm saying, and that's Israel. Israel, like they love it. Now we hate the consequences that come of it, but during the midst of it, you ever did something wrong? We all was kids at one time, right? You did something that you know was wrong deep down. Hell, a lot of adults do that, right? You do something you know it's deep down wrong. You're like, damn, man, why'd I do that? You know what I'm saying? Meaning it wasn't that reaction before you did it, right? Because if you had that same fight before you did it, you wouldn't have done it. But it's the reaction after the fact, right? That's Israel. Go ahead up. Read that for me again.
Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil.
Fear the Most High and depart from evil. All right. Lock you. Give me John 14 chapter John 14 and 27.
Is the book of John, chapter 14, and verse, you said 27?
Come on.
Verse 27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid.
Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Once again, one of the top reasons why, right? If not the biggest reason why a lot of Black and Hispanic don't accept the breath of life is because of fear. And the Most High is encouraging brothers and sisters to get over that fear. You know what I'm saying? Get over that fear. I was one of them brothers too, man. I was one of them brothers. That's the only reason I could speak on it. I tell you, the things I say on the, especially when I teach in class, things I say is because, and I could speak on it because I've done them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've done them, so I can speak on them. You've done things, you know what I'm saying? You could speak on it. You know what I'm saying? And because I've done it, like, I know what brothers and sisters are going to go through because I've been there and I know. Right? And you like, damn, you do not want to accept it because now you have to keep certain laws and commandments. And that's what they don't tell you. A lot of brothers, man. A lot of brothers. That's the reason why right there. All right? Give me if you cannot, give me Leviticus up. Which one do I want? No, actually, give me Romans. Romans chapter 1, verse 24. Romans 1, 24.
Chapter 1 and verse 24.
We all know that I'm gonna close it out with this. We all know that this month is they call homosexual month, right? Or Pride Month. Yeah, Pride Month they call, right? Where the homosexual community, like the Puerto Rican Day Parade, they have a whole month of celebration for their homosexuality, right? And what's also this month is what's it called? Juneteenth, right? And this is something I heard today. A brother made a statement today. He said, I already made a statement today. He's like, oh man, this is and this coming Sunday is Father's Day. So he said, oh man, this Sunday coming will be a gay this coming Sunday will be Black Father Gay Parade Day. No, yeah, Black Father Gay Day. Meaning he's saying that this is the gay month of Juneteenth, right? And it's Father's Day. So it's Black Father Gay Day. And it makes me, I scratch my head. I'm like, when I heard that, I'm like, yo, like I told you, usually I have my headphones and I'm at the slave. I'm listening to a podcast or something, you know what I mean? And I hear them make the statement. I'm like, yo, like, look how far we've become. This brother said that, then everyone clapped saying, you know, you're right. Yeah, you know, we need to celebrate this the gay month. We need to celebrate them, make them see like there's love out there. You know what I'm saying? That we love them and we support them and and I scratch my head because I'm like, yo, look how far Israel have come to where we belittle ourselves. Even if the other brother didn't agree to what he said, he'll in a front of everybody, he'll clap and agree that, you know what I'm saying, just to be accepted by everybody else. And to me, that's ain't nothing more cowardly than that, man. That's absolutely cowardly rather than you standing up. It's a man that have kids. You have a son, you know what I'm saying, you have a daughter, like, so if you're saying you're accepting people being homosexuals, I mean, you accept your son being homosexual. I always tell people, like, you can't take it, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? You have to play the game by the hand that you're dealt, right? Meaning, if you're somebody that coming up, or not even coming up, coming up, and you've been, I don't know, beating the hell out of women, right? Beating the hell out of women. Every girl you've had, every wife you've had, you beat the hell out of every woman, right? And when you go have a daughter, just accept the fact that one day your daughter will be beat on. Feel me? Like I don't know where in the world that we think it's okay to do stuff and not expect things to be done back to you. Like, what world do we live in? You know what I always be careful with? I always say this. Even before I was in the truth, I've always said this. I have a little brother, right? Like about 10 or something like that now. Saying 11, maybe, I don't, you know what I mean? Every time I go either to visit him or see him, like, ever since I was young, I always knock when he has a room door, I always knock on it for him to give me permission to come in. I'm saying I treated him like, saying, like, with respect. And the reason why I tell him is because one day that little boy will become a man one day. And I want him to remember this. And here's the reason why. A lot of people, like I said before, they like to treat people a certain amount of way and not expect to be treated back that way. Like to do things to people or not expect any repercussions for it. And that's what I don't like about this place that we live in, right? So a man that would accept homosexuality, and that's dandy and fine, and you promoting out in the public, just expect the day when your son comes and says he likes raw. You got to take it out. You got to take it because you was pushing it on other people's children. You didn't care, right? So you have to accept that. Read that from you.
It's the book of Romans chapter 1 and verse 24. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts.
Give me through verse 4. Come on. No, read all the way 24 through to 28. My bad.
Romans 1 and 24. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections.
Most I gave them up to vile affections, right? Go ahead.
For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
The women changed that of the natural use, right? Go ahead.
Verse 27. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another.
One to what?
One toward another.
One to what?
One toward another.
Meaning men having lust for other men. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Men with men, working that which is unseemly.
Working that which is unseemly. How are we? I'll say this, Israelites. How have we gotten so far, man? How have we gotten? I heard some of the most violent, disgusting things, man, going on in the nation of Israel. I can't believe how far we become. We talking about if Most High don't come, we all gonna die. If the Most High don't come back, like take your selfish pride out of it, man. If the Most High don't come back, I'm afraid that we'll have on the other nation cloth for so long And we forget who we really are, man. We're a people of decency and a people of like, we don't do certain things, man. We're Israelites. We don't do certain things. There's certain things that should be forbid. Like it shouldn't even be thought of with us, man. When it comes to anything with children, you know what I'm saying? At one time, our men would gather amongst each other and you would say certain things that, you know what I'm saying, in the eyes of women and our elderly and little children, you wouldn't have them want to hear, right? What if this time become to where we're saying anything now? I'm saying to having women hear anything now. She can hear her say the most vilest things we could say now, right? A time where children can hear her say anything. At one time, we watch our tongue when our elders come in the room. We have older people come in the room. We watch the way we speak to them at one time. We've become a vile people, man. I cannot say it enough. We have no respect. I'm saying no honor for ourselves. That's the people that we've become, man. I'm afraid, like, forget dying. That's something that's inevitable. Forget dying. Like, I'm afraid if the Most High don't come back, we'll forget who we really are. And that's more important, man. Hey, that, I'm saying, I'm going to close the class out once again with ISUPK coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I'm Officer Apayat. I'm saying out in Arizona, we got classes at the bottom, like it says, Tuesday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'm saying today we're having a little early, obviously, you know what I'm saying. And we got classes Saturday, I'm saying 10 a.m. to noon. Sabbath service from 10 a.m. to noon. We're located at 12416 North 28 Drive. That's 12416 North 28 Drive. It's suite number 4. With that, I say shalom.